So I want to walk around and see how things are looking. And I want to increase the number of houses. For example, these houses are few, so I want to add more to make it feel like there are streets. I can select here, select the object, and make sure my selection is varied. I could select these boxes like this, or I could decide to do something else. But of course, I don't like repetition in spheres, so I might come in and create a few boxes to fill the scene. Here's a third box to give some space, which adds a nice touch to my scene. In fact, I can add more work later on, like having cars moving among the buildings. This box is a bit off. I need to adjust it. I'm going to create a few boxes like this to fill up the scene. Here's a third box to add some space, which gives a nice touch to my scene. In fact, I can add more work later on, like having cars moving among the buildings. This box is a bit off. I need to adjust it. Move. The car is moving among the buildings. Can I put trees in front of the buildings? Yes, of course. Is there a tree performance here? Yes, of course. Come on, let's plant some trees. Will he accept it or not? In geometry, in the shapes here, you have a choice to choose from. Change from one version to another, because I have doors here, and I have extended. But in extended, we don't have free here. But the view of the village is not. I don't have a tree here, in this spot. Where was the tree, Abdul Rahman? The dynamic one is something else. No, yes, here, EEC extent. Where are the trees? Ah, this is one type of them. What was that? No, that's the walls? No. Let's remember to put 2 or 3 nice trees here. But this will clutter the scene. Okay? I'll put a big tree here, but we'll adjust things. Let's add another tree here. We'll adjust it. Let's put a third tree of a different type here. I want the car to be moving without running into a tree. Let's put this fourth type here. It looks nice and small. I shrink the scene, add some trees that don't fit, and put another strange tree in front, aim to forest this area. There's a tree moving in front of another tree, depending on visibility. Mix the car here might close it off. Lower the camera show tree parts, since they are invisible from above. Parts show. This tree, small tree, and leaves are visible. Add a tree here avoids emptiness. Something visible here makes all fine. Turn the ground green. The start is beautiful with trees. Render is challenging. If it takes 10 days, additions need calculations. Change this ground. Turn it green with trees. Go for it. Or lower the camera to show parts of the trees, as trees will never be visible if the camera is coming from above. This tree, the small tree, and some leaves are visible. I could add a tree here to fill the area, and it looks good. Let's make the ground green. The start looks beautiful with trees. Rendering is a challenge. Rendering takes time. Everything added requires calculations. We need to change this ground. Make it green with trees. Create a path with a black plane. Go to standard, then plane, choose black. Create a small path between trees for a car. In rendering, if the scene takes 10 days, everything you add has its calculations. This ground, as you can see, we need to change it. Let's make it green. With some trees, how do we create a path? We can create a path with another black plane. You guys can come up with ideas for yourselves. Let's go to the standard, then to the plane, and choose a black color from the start. Sorry about that. And we say, okay, now let's create a small path between the trees where a car can move from here to there. All right, let's go up to here. The car is moving from here to there. Let's make the plane long enough, and I can raise it a bit. But remember, I said it's a black plane. How do we create a path? We can make a path with another black plane. So, you guys can come up with ideas for yourselves. Let's go to the standard, then to the plane, and choose a black color from the start. Sorry about that. And we say, okay. Now, let's create a small path between the trees where a car can move from here to there, like this. No, up to here is fine. The car is moving on the plane, and let's make the plane long like this. That sounds good. I can raise it a bit, but remember, I said it's a black plane. Black, on the roof of the scene. But I want to take it out 1 year or lower the floor 1 year, something from both. So I decided to lower the floor 1 year. and come in the increase to lower it 1 year like this. But I have a car driving by the side of the road. You can enjoy working at your own pace. Later, when the work takes longer and you want to create those white things on the road, you can also do that. Just come here and create a small box like this. Just like that, and make it white. And here in its coordinates, raise it a bit up. And I come to check the view from this particular angle, nothing is absolutely coming in. So I take copies using shift and drag and drop, just like that, and make 10 copies, which makes it exactly 20. It doesn't matter. Just copy it and watch my scene. Carefully and closely to observe the process step by step in detail. Where did we get to? Come here and start it up. Okay. Speech. Can I make lampposts? Can I play with the houses and give them textures? Can I give them colors? The houses are of different colors. If I came here to the house behind this one, the house, come on, let's take one of their houses, this house, which the camera is basically seeing. I see it hidden behind the tree, a bit visible. The tree's dense leaves let me change the house color. I'll use another house with different colors. This color is similar, so I want something different. Everything is fine with colors and setup. When rendering, I'll capture this scene. I showed the render before, did modeling, coloring, considering it weak material, but it's okay. We worked on animation, rotation, modeling, and materials. Let's move to lighting. Lighting and rendering are tough. Let's work on lighting. Hitting F9 for a quick shot shows the tree better, but I can't stay long. Old materials are tough. Now, when rendering, I capture the scene and take a picture. We worked on animation, rotation, modeling, and materials. Now let's move on to the lighting. Lighting and rendering are challenging, so let's work on lighting. Hitting F9 for a quick shot shows the tree looks better, but I can't stay long. Old materials are problematic. The ground might lack reflections, and white elements are far from it. It's still calculating lighting reflections in the scene. Rendering 1 of 100 frames will break in half an hour, so I'll keep working. Let's move on to light. The light and render are challenging. Let's work on light. Press F9 for a shot. The tree looks better, but I can't stay long due to old material issues. The ground might lack reflections, and white elements are far from it. It's still calculating lighting reflections. It's rendering 1 frame out of 100. We'll break in half an hour, so I'll keep working and see what's missing. I'll let the light run for half an hour without stopping. Did you see the car's indentation? You can see it in the tree's leaves. Reducing the leaves speeds up the scene, which I'll do now. It's gathering the scene's parts to improve it. Things are moving along. Remember, the white ground needs lowering. The ground might not reflect, and white elements are distant. It's calculating lighting reflections, rendering 1 frame out of 100. We'll break in half an hour, so I'll keep working. I'll see what's missing. I'll let the light run without stopping. Notice the car's indentation? It's visible in the tree's leaves. Reducing leaves speeds up the scene, which I'll do now. It's gathering parts for a good scene. Things are progressing. Remember, the white ground needs lowering. You're creating a complete scene. Add characters, interactions, cars, birds, telling a story. Use this logic in the project. Someone might ask, Dr. Abdul Rahman, why is the car empty? Can't we add something to improve it? We can reduce that work, right, doctor? I'm going to keep checking what's missing. I'll let the light run for half an hour, but I won't turn off the light. Did you see the indentation in the car? Can you see how the indentation looks? You can see it in the tree with its leaves. If I reduce the leaves on the tree a bit, the scene will speed up. And that's what I'm going to do with you now. It's trying to gather, the remaining parts of the scene to make it a good scene. So as you can see, things are moving along a bit. Just keep in mind that the white ground needs to be lowered a bit. You're creating a scene, a complete scene. I wanted to give you this today, before the break, so we can create something complete. You can add characters, have them walking and talking to each other, cars, birds flying, telling a story. So you can work with this logic in this project. For example, someone might say, Dr. Abdul Rahman, why is the empty car there? Can't we put something in it to make it look better, instead of just being empty? And we can reduce that work a bit, right, doctor? He told him, instead of him making us a mess in the scene, we can't move or come in or anything. So I said, okay, let's count our trees and see what we've got first, and then we'll check the cars. I have a problem with the tree back there. What's its purpose? It's just taking up space. I mean, the beginning of the scene is coming in. And honestly, I doubt that tree is needed. So I'm going to remove that tree back there. Goodbye. And I'm removing this tree and goodbye. This tree is completely gone. Forever goodbye.